Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this powerful full moon, the last of the three great spiritual festivals. This moon has the sun in the sign of Gemini and the moon in its opposite sign, Sagittarius. As we know, every full moon gives us the opportunity to open ourselves to receive spiritual blessings. Just a second. Sorry. Spiritual blessings from the universe. It's the energetic high point of every month, but there are 3 months of the year when the energies are particularly potent. These are called the three great spring festivals. In April, we honored the new beginnings as we started a new yearly cycle in Aries. This was the Easter festival. We invoked the fiery will of Aries to help us initiate the new ideas that may have been brought into our consciousness. In May, at the Wesak Festival, we received the grounding energy, the earth energy of Taurus, to help us embody and manifest those ideas that we contacted in Aries. We also welcomed the illuminating light of the Buddha and the Christ, bringing us the gift of unconditional love and wisdom. Now, at this Gemini full moon festival, we become receivers of those sacred energies that were contacted during the Wesak ceremony. This full moon is the moment when these powerful energies are transmitted to all of humanity. Each year, this festival is celebrated at the full moon of Gemini. This full moon is also called a blue moon because it is the second full moon of the month. And the reason a blue moon might feel different than ordinary full moons is because they are not just lunar events, they are corrections. The universe does not stage a second full moon in the same month for ordinary reasons. It does it when something in a season needs another pass, another chance to be seen clearly, another opportunity to be understood the way it was actually meant to be understood the first time. May has been one of the most cosmically loaded months of this decade. The blue moon arriving at the end of it is the sky's way of making sure that you do not walk into June carrying any confusion forward. What makes this blue moon especially powerful is that it lands in Sagittarius, the sign that governs the deepest questions that you carry about your own life, what you actually believe is possible for yourself, the direction your soul is asking you to commit to, the story you've been telling about your future versus the one that is actually true. Sagittarius does not deal in half answers, and this blue moon is going to bring something to the surface that requires you to be honest about what you want the rest of the year to look like. This full moon, we also celebrate the World Day of Prayer or invocation. And the word invocation is often used synonymously with the word prayer. And these two words embody a very powerful spiritual principle, the law of invocation and evocation. We are told in the ancient wisdom teachings and in the Bible that whatever we invoke by law requires a response. Ask and you shall receive. However, this does not mean that when we ask from our small self, our ego, we will always be met with a response. Just because we ask for a new car or lots of money, a new house, does not mean that we will necessarily get that. This is a spiritual law, and that requires that when we invoke, we are coming from the level of our soul or our higher self, so that our request is something that will benefit humanity and not just our own small ego. And the response will never go against our life plan. It is always wise when we invoke spiritual law that we include the phrase, "Not my will, but thy will be done," meaning the will of our soul. World Invocation Day was created as a way to intensify the invocative appeal to the great ones. And we are told that this universal appeal evokes a tremendous downpouring of love and goodwill from the hierarchy. In 1952, on World Invocation Day, Eleanor Roosevelt read the Great Invocation over the radio that touched thousands of people. So it is that on this day, people from all over the world are encouraged to recite the Great Invocation many times throughout the day as a way to send up a powerful invocative appeal to the great ones, to pour down upon us love, light, and power. This is the power of a united invocative appeal. We are promised that there will be an evocative response, and the potency of that response depends on the power of the invocation. So I invite you to participate in this worldwide endeavor by reciting the Great Invocation as many times as you can on May 30th. The Tibetan master Dwal Kul says this about this important day, quote, "The power of united prayer and meditation is as yet a little used resource. On World Invocation Day, we have the opportunity to marshal this power to aid the forces of light upon planet Earth. To invoke is to call upon, to petition for help or support, to appeal to. In the case of World Invocation Day, the appeal is being made to God and to the overshadowing beneficent forces to come to the aid of humanity and the planet in response to our united invocative appeal. It is said that the invocation could change our lives, reorient our purpose, expand our consciousness, and stabilize us in spiritual being. It could also disrupt and rebuild the planetary thought form and open the door into a new age, thus ushering in the new and better civilization. This could be done so rapidly that the needed changes would come about almost overnight, and humanity could settle down to a life of group goodwill, individual harmlessness, and right human relations," unquote. So now let's talk for a bit about Gemini and its opposite sign, Sagittarius. The soul-centered goal of Gemini is intelligent love, the blending of the heart and the head. How can we join these two energies in our own lives this month? Can we demonstrate our love intelligently? There's an ancient story told about the Buddha when he came upon a lion's lair and saw that the lion and all her babies were starving. In an act of utter compassion, he sacrificed his life to save those lions. This is not intelligent love. He could have used many other means to save those lions. So let us be sure that we use our minds this month to express our love intelligently. The Gemini personality can tend to be a bit unstable as it flits from one thing to another, always curious, always looking for stimulation and something new. In the glyph of this sign, which you can see in the background here, We see two pillars joined by a bar across the top. These two pillars represent the duality inherent in Gemini. As a personality, the Gemini person has to continually work with his dual nature, the opposing forces within himself. He struggles with joining heart with mind, doubt with confidence, light with dark. At the highest level, it is the duality of the soul and the personality, spirit and matter. This month, we might ponder on the questions: where am I at war with myself? What are the inner battles I'm struggling with? And how can I bring unity to these opposites within myself? The good news is that there is a harmonizing aspect to the Gemini energy. It resides in its soul-centered ruler, Venus. She connects the opposing forces in a field of love. When you become aware of the parts of your personality that are doing battle, invoke Venus, invoke love and harmony, and see if it can transform the battle into a united expression of healing love. The Tao describes the battle like this, quote, "The place where the this and the that are not opposed to each other is called the pivot of the Tao. When we find this pivot, we find ourselves at the center of the circle, and here we sit, serene, while yes and no keep chasing each other around the circumference endlessly." Unquote. Under the influence of the soul, Gemini becomes a transmitter of this spiritual energy of love. Once the heart is infused with love, it allows the Gemini person to see the divinity within everyone. And that is our task this month, to allow the energy of love to transform us. And the power of love is what this third festival is all about. Gemini's opposite sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign, while Gemini is the mental sign of air. So Sagittarius embodies the energy of adventure, exploration, and freedom. Sagittarius encourages us not to get stuck in our comfort zone, but to step out courageously into the unknown. This sign also asks us to be more understanding and tolerant of differences. Sagittarius always searches for the deeper meaning of things. The glyph for Sagittarius is the archer that aims his arrow high toward his goal. Once the goal is reached, he resolutely moves toward achieving the next goal. The mantra for the Sagittarius personality is, I see the goal, I reach the goal, and see another. He is in a relentless pursuit of the truth. Some words that describe facets of the Sagittarian personality are one-pointedness, the explorer, the seeker of the truth, the moralist, free spirit, the guide, the know-it-all, the philosopher. This is a helpful energy for the Gemini native because it gives Gemini the quality of groundedness and focus, which it clearly needs if he is to accomplish anything. Pam Younghans describes the blending of these two energies. Quote, with the sun in Airy Gemini opposing the Sagittarius moon, we are asked to use both intuition and logic to take inspired action, but also to be thoughtful and communicative, to be optimistic, but also reasonable, to stretch ourselves mentally and physically, but also to attend to our immediate surroundings and our daily routines, end quote. Another astrologer talks about the lesson which Gemini teaches. This is the soul lesson which Gemini teaches. Quote, the outer mind, the concrete mind, so quick to analyze and argue, so gifted in self-expression, must be brought under the control of the higher mind so that it becomes a beautifully tuned instrument, transmitting the harmony and the wisdom of the heavenly world, end quote. In that regard, it mirrors the energy of this third festival, sometimes called the Festival of the Christ, because, as I mentioned, it was at Wesak that the Christ stood at the stone altar and received the cosmic energies of the Buddha. At this festival, those energies are dispersed unto all of humanity, sometimes called the Festival of Humanity, because humanity has this powerful opportunity to receive these energies fully into their being. The more consciously we invite these energies in, the more potent they will be, the more powerfully they will stimulate our divine nature. This festival is also sometimes called the Festival of Goodwill, because that is the way most people will manifest this energy, as a desire to just be a better person, to do good. As you know, the stronger the appeal, the wider the doorway or channel through which these energies can pour. It is said that when humanity's appeal becomes potent enough, it will reach up to the Christ himself, and he will begin his externalization process here on earth. He will return, and we are preparing the way through our own individual work and through our group work. Let us stand with the world teacher, the Christ, for the potent downpouring of love that is possible. I know that the last several weeks or months have been difficult for many people with all of the astrological configurations in the sky. So this evening, let's just attempt to let all of that go and just be open and receiving and receptive to receive this great gift of love that the spiritual realms are pouring down upon us. Here are some words from the wise philosopher Winnie the Pooh. Quote, it's a quiet night tonight, isn't it, Piglet? Said Pooh, gazing up at the stars. It certainly is, said Piglet, his little paw resting on his friend's. What do you think the stars talk about? Asked Pooh. When we're not listening, I mean. Piglet thought for a moment. I think they talk about light, he said, about how even in the darkest skies, they shine as best they can, no matter how small they are, because they know someone, somewhere, is looking up and needs to see them. Pooh smiled. That's a lovely thought, Piglet. Do you think we're like that too, little stars shining for each other? Piglet nodded. Yes, Pooh, I think that's what we're meant to do, to be a little light for someone, even when the night feels very big and very dark. Pooh sat quietly for a moment, then said, if that's true, Piglet, then I think that you're the brightest star I know. Even on my gloomiest days, you make me feel like everything will be all right. And you're mine, Pooh, said Piglet softly, because with you I always feel safe, even when the woods seem scary or the path isn't clear. The two friends sat together under the stars, wrapped in the kind of quiet love that doesn't need grand gestures or fancy words, just presence, just care, just two lights shining for each other in the great big world. What do you think we should do tomorrow? Asked Pooh after a while. I think we should just keep shining, said Piglet. Let us prepare now for our meditation. Begin by making sure you are comfortable and that you will not be disturbed. Allow yourself to have this time free of interruptions and distractions. Notice your posture and see if you can sit with your spine relatively erect without any tension or discomfort. Now imagine the soul as a ball of light above your head. And as you breathe in, know that it is the soul that is inhaling your breath into itself. Then from that place of centeredness, the soul exhales its love and light through every chakra, illuminating your body with the light of the soul. Notice the alignment that takes place from this process. All of your chakras are aligned with the energy of the soul, infused with light. Now imagine that the color violet is filling the room. This is the color of Gemini. Breathe it into your heart space and allow it to open your heart so that you are receptive to the downpouring of love that will occur as we invoke these energies of Gemini. Be aware now of your consciousness expanding, opening up, reaching up to the spiritual realms. See now in your mind's eye the image of the Christ. Imagine him in any way that resonates with you, but picture him as clearly and fully as you can. And become aware of the energy of love that emanates from his being and align yourself to that energy. Feel it enter your body, filling every cell with love. Now imagine it expanding and enfolding your entire auric field. Then, with the conscious act of focused will, send forth your appeal, your demand that the Christ release the energies of love throughout the planet. Know that as you do this, an intense magnetic field of transforming power is being created that will draw the needed energies into the earth. Be open and receptive now to these powerful energies. Imagine this unconditional love infusing your relationships, creating harmony, resolution, and healing. This powerful love is also badly needed by our world. So let us open our hearts in love to all of humanity. Let us offer this prayer. I open myself to the power of grace that lives in us as goodness. that is never absent and radiates peace and lights the way to transformation. With purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves for this work of healing. This offer we make as a group to the ones we seek to heal. We feel a deep love pouring into us, the love of God and the love of humanity. We focus at the Ajna center, the center between the eyebrows. We see that we are points of radiant light. We radiate this light, blended with the healing rays of the Christ, from our Ajna center into the world. We say silently together, may the love of the one soul focused in this group radiate upon humanity and every nation, especially in Ukraine, Iran, and the Middle East. May it heal, soothe, strengthen, and dissipate all that hinders service to the world. We believe in the results of our work. We hold this deep, radiating love throughout the next 3 days. A love that is safeguarded by our intentions and by our work together. We see the healing energies being received by all of humanity and by every nation. And thus we see the nations and humanity stabilized, restoring right human relationships between countries, nations, and individuals. This love is constant and continuous. Wherever we are, within us, we can create a healing dimension that radiates outward from ourselves, the will to good, the will to love. Let us keep this vision of humanity alive in our minds as we go through these next few months together. And let this be our prayer. O Lord of light and love, come forth and rule the world. May the Prince of Peace appear and end the warring of the nations. May the reign of light and love and justice be begun. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Bring yourselves quietly back now to your room. Make sure your feet are grounded in the earth. And of course, I couldn't have a ceremony without a poem. So this is a poem by Jan Richardson called Blessed Are You Who Bear the Light. Blessed are you who bear the light in unbearable times, who testify to its endurance amid the unendurable, who bear witness to its persistence when everything seems in shadow and grief. Blessed are you in whom the light lives, in whom the brightness blazes, your heart, a chapel, an altar where in the deepest night can be seen the fire that shines forth in you, in unaccountable faith, in stubborn hope, in love that illumines every broken thing it finds. And let us close with the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Remember that World Invocation Day is tomorrow, and as often as you can, please repeat this great invocation and imagine it healing our earth. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for coming. All right, trying to figure out how to close this now. There we go. All right.
Thank you.
Can you send us that invocation again?
Just a second. Let me stop the recording first.